The story opens with a banker named Will, who is in hiding and cooking a meal in a hotel. A noise from outside startles him. It's a reindeer. He is annoyed by the distraction, but before he can react, officers burst in and apprehend him. I'm willing to fully cooperate with the police, Will quickly states. Officer Denny then arrives to speak with Will. When Will asks what she wants, Denny informs him that he must testify against the mafia boss whose accounts he managed. Will agrees, but only on the condition of receiving complete protection. Denny immediately contacts her colleague to discuss the terms. The following day, Denny and Will are aboard a small, private aircraft en route to London. Will comments on how old the plane looks. Denny snaps back, this was the best we could arrange for a quick departure. You should have thought about that before hiding in a small town. Denny then calls her colleague to confirm their imminent arrival. The colleague warns her that the mafia boss's lawyers are likely aware of the plan and instructs Denny to bring Will, the accountant, in with extreme caution. Meanwhile, the pilot greets them. As the three prepare for takeoff, the pilot notices Will is handcuffed and Denny is carrying a gun. The pilot inquires about Will, but Denny offers no explanation, simply stating, it's time to go. As the plane slowly taxis, Denny feels the aircraft shaking excessively. The pilot advises them to put on headphones to communicate. Will, seated in the back, observes their conversation and wishes he could join in. Denny then realizes the radio is off. We need to go back, she insists. No point, we'll reach our destination soon, the pilot replies. Suddenly, a bird strikes the plane and dies. Denny is unnerved, but the pilot calmly reassures her, it happens all the time, nothing to worry about. It is then that Will spots the pilot's ID. He is shocked to see that the photo on the ID does not match the pilot's face. Will tries to alert Denny, but she cannot hear him. He throws a button at her. When she turns, Will attempts to speak, but seeing the pilot watching, he quickly gives a false excuse, I feel sick, we need to turn back. Denny refuses. Suddenly, Denny notices a bloodstain on the pilot's clothing. Sensing something is wrong, she starts questioning the flight plan. Who is your contact officer? Denny asks. The pilot claims they were both assigned the job by the same officer. Denny states, our contact officer is Paul, and he's a good man. The pilot confirms, yes, Paul, a real good guy, he paid me well for this job. Denny then reveals the trap. I never discussed this with an officer named Paul, no one in my team has that name. The pilot smiles and replies, oh, so you finally figured it out. A fight immediately breaks out. The pilot attacks Denny, but she fights back fiercely. He manages to punch her, knocking her unconscious. He turns to Will. Will, you shouldn't have double-crossed the mafia boss. He's furious, and I work for him too, the pilot sneers. Will offers a desperate bribe, $1 million to let me go. The pilot is astonished, where did you get that much money? Will confesses, I was always skimming small amounts from the boss's money, and he never noticed. The pilot remarks, you don't look like such a scoundrel. But even if I take the money, I still have to kill Denny, can't leave any witnesses. Denny regains consciousness and uses a taser to shock the pilot. His cap flies off, revealing he is bald. Denny gives him a strong shock to the neck, knocking him out and throwing him clear. In the chaos, the plane loses control and begins to plunge. Denny quickly takes the controls and manages to level the aircraft. Will instructs her to put the plane on autopilot. The hired pilot remains unconscious. Denny asks Will if he's okay. No, I'm not well at all. What do we do now? He asks. Denny and Will secure the pilot, checking him thoroughly. Denny finds paperwork in his clothes, arrest warrants for the mafia boss, along with pictures of both her and Will. Will is horrified to discover that the pilot knew the location of his mother's house, fearing the pilot would kill her as well. Denny reassures him, he's in our custody, he won't do anything. We'll land this plane and take him to jail. They then realize the plane has no GPS and the radio is not working. They struggle to fix the radio and finally succeed, managing to contact another person. Denny starts speaking, but the signal is very weak. She remembers she has a satellite phone. She calls her colleague again. Did you arrive? The colleague asks. No, our pilot attacked us. He wasn't the real pilot, but a mafia hitman sent to kill us. But we're safe, we knocked the bastard out, Denny replies. Her colleague expresses relief. Denny requests, we don't know how to fly this plane, we need someone on the line to guide us. At that moment, the pilot regains consciousness. I can help you, he says, chuckling. Tell us how to fly this thing, Denny demands. I won't. The pilot snarls. Denny threatens him with the gun. He taunts her, shooting inside the plane will destabilize it. All three of us will crash and die. Denny vows, I'll see you in jail. He laughs, no problem, I'm always in jail anyway. Denny's colleague connects her with a captain from their team. The captain asks Denny detailed questions about the aircraft and then instructs her to fly the plane higher. Due to the lack of GPS, they have no idea where they are. The captain patiently begins teaching Denny to fly. Meanwhile, the pilot starts singing and taunting Will, threatening to go to his mother's house and kill her. Denny is enraged, and Will fumes, how did this scumbag get my mother's address? I never recorded it anywhere. Denny also grows suspicious. Her colleague calls again. They discuss their next move. Denny's colleague reports, we went to the real pilot's house and found his body. His eyes were gouged out, and his ears and nose were severed. He was killed brutally. Denny realizes the hitman on their plane committed the gruesome murder. She then asks her colleague, who else knew about this case? The colleague replies, only me and my boss, Jack. We discussed it with the team before assigning you the mission to bring Will in. Will warns Denny that the plane is heading straight for a cliff. Denny immediately pulls the plane up. During the turbulence, the pilot manages to retrieve a hidden knife he had stashed away. The plane ascends and scrapes against the snow, but fortunately continues flying safely. Will and Denny are badly shaken. The pilot attempts to use the knife to free himself but can't fully bring it up, so he hides it. Denny is wearing glasses at this time. To further rattle them, the pilot states, Denny is a lazy officer. She was once tasked with protecting a witness, but she let that witness get killed. Will is terrified, and Denny is furious. The pilot immediately backtracks, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Enraged, Denny demands, how do you know all this? And starts to beat him. He reveals, I also know the witness was burned alive, and it wasn't your fault, someone else did it. Denny's fury mounts, and she strikes the pilot again. The pilot manages to snatch Denny's glasses and uses the arm to saw through the rope binding him. Denny is panicked. Will tells her to calm down. She confides in him, 3 years ago, I was sent on a mission to bring back a female witness. She was at a hotel. I convinced her to testify. But mafia goons were sent to kill her, they set the girl on fire, and I couldn't save her. Denny's colleague calls again. This man knows everything about Will, even things about me. You need to speak to your boss, Jack. Someone on your team is leaking information, Denny tells her. Her colleague replies, I trust my entire team. Denny asks, do you trust your boss, Jack? The colleague says, yes, he's a good man, I don't think he'd leak information. Frustrated by her colleague's disbelief, Denny calls the headquarters and speaks to her boss, Jack. Sir, I suspect my colleague is working with the mafia goon, she passed on all our information to them, Denny alleges. Jack asks if she is absolutely sure. Yes, I am absolutely sure, Denny confirms. At that moment, Denny spots a shoreline. She alerts the captain, and they start flying towards it, both she and Will relieved. Suddenly, a realization hits Denny. She tells Will, I read your file. It said you handled the mafia's financial transactions. And I know you also sent some money to Hawaii. Will admits, yes, we paid an officer a monthly sum, he helped the mafia with everything. Denny understands immediately that the officer is none other than Jack. Jack is the real enemy, the one collaborating with the mafia, not her colleague. She immediately calls her colleague and explains everything. I'm sorry, I suspected you. That's why I called Jack and told him you were the one betraying us to the mafia. Please handle everything carefully, Denny says. Her colleague snaps back, you're crazy, you messed everything up. Hang up the phone. I'll deal with this. As they head towards the shore, they spot a ship. Denny tells the captain its name, allowing him to determine their location. The captain instructs them to fly in the opposite direction, and they comply. Meanwhile, the pilot has freed himself. He stabs Will with the knife and attacks Denny, seizing her gun. Who will save you now? He asks, starting to assault her. Will grabs the knife and stabs the pilot. Denny uses a flare gun to shoot and wound the pilot, then hits him again, knocking him out. She rushes back to Will, who is badly wounded. Nothing will happen to you, she assures him. A terrified Will pleads, please save my mother. I promise, nothing will happen to you or your mother, Denny replies. She starts tending to his wounds. The pilot regains consciousness but Denny has managed to handcuff him. The captain calls again, and Denny informs him that Will is severely injured and that she has knocked out the pilot. The captain says, you'll see a runway soon. You have to land the plane there, but it's very dangerous. Denny decides to attempt the landing. A frightened Will says, this is all my fault. No, this is the mafia's fault, Denny counters. Will confesses, I stole about $10 million from the mafia. That's why I ran. Then the police caught me and are trying to make me a witness. If anything happens to me, promise me you'll save my mother from the mafia. Just then, Jack calls Denny. Denny, you were right. Your colleague was the traitor. We went to catch her, and she had an accident and died, he lies. Denny immediately realizes Jack killed her colleague and is trying to pin the blame on her. I know you're the traitor, she says. It's not me, you're mistaken, Jack argues. Denny says, I know all about your Hawaii base and the transactions you run from there. Jack hangs up. The pilot asks Denny, why don't you just kill me? Because I'm not like you, Denny replies. The pilot says, you're not like me because you're worse. Will spots a rescue plane coming for them, and both are relieved. That plane is useless. You won't be able to land this one here. All three of us will die, and the mafia boss will escape forever, the pilot gloats. Denny spots the runway and steers the plane toward it. The pilot breaks his own hand to slip out of the handcuffs and attacks Denny. Denny immediately shoots him, severely injuring him. She regains control, and the captain, advising her to stay calm, guides her through the landing procedure. Denny slowly brings the plane down. The aircraft shakes violently, bounces on the runway, and skids forward. The tires burst, doors break, and the pilot is thrown out. Suddenly, an ambulance speeds up from behind and hits him, killing him instantly. The plane finally stops. A medical team surrounds them. Denny sees Will lying unconscious. She wakes him up, and officers escort both of them outside. A colleague tells Denny, the ambulance hit the pilot, he's dead. Denny replies, good, he deserved it. She then sees Will being loaded into an ambulance. A man dressed as an officer enters the ambulance, arousing Denny's suspicion. Denny runs and throws open the door. The man, a hitman in disguise, is trying to kill Will. Denny immediately shoots and kills the attacker, saving Will's life once more. Will is terrified. Denny comforts him. Jack calls the dead killer's phone, and Denny answers. Tell me, is Will dead or not? Jack asks. Denny replies, he's not dead, I saved him, but you will die now. I will not let you go, and hangs up. The officers are relieved that both lives were saved thanks to Denny's bravery. The movie ends here. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.